Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Tuesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe. At Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. The Orange hang on and win a 74-73 nail-biter in overtime against Georgia Tech last night. You'll hear from us. We'll hear from you in fan feedback. Then we will let you know what we think about tomorrow's matchup against Notre Dame. That game on the road. Tip scheduled for 7 p.m. TV I saw was ESPN News. Didn't even know that channel existed. So we were able to stream the game last night. That was nice and to be able to do. I wasn't in there the whole time, but we did draw a decent little crowd, so it's nice.
Yeah, I was in there for about the whole first half, actually.
Oh, you were? Why? Were you not getting the game?
As our Roku blew, so I had to get another Roku. Well, we had one that I hadn't set up yet, so I was setting up a Roku and watching it. So at one point, I saw 68 people.
It was 130 at one point in the second half.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, when it went into overtime, people tuned in. It's like amazing to me that people weren't tuned in until overtime like that. But maybe they were just there to see like fan reaction and stuff. But when we're not in there like trying to create conversation and stuff, the interaction is a little less than it would be. It's tough to be in the chat room and like chat back and forth. You gotta like reply to people. I don't. It doesn't work. It's not very friendly to the people in the room chatting. It's you know what I mean. It's more like for them to chat to you, which is not what we were doing yesterday. So, anyways, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Got a lot of DMs and things afterwards, thanking us. So obviously very happy to do it, and it's not a big deal at all. Nope. Cuse Waterboy usually hooks me up with the heads up, but Joe came through this time early, so I was ready for it. And it doesn't take long to set up. It takes me longer to focus in on just the TV than to get the audio and everything hooked up, because I hook the TV right to the mixer. Everything goes right to the mixer. So someone asked for a link. I'm like, dude, there's no link, man. It's just streaming from my TV. If you would have watched long enough, you would have saw Otto, the cat. He was on there, and I didn't realize it until I got a text telling me to move my cat. And so I don't know how long he was in there, but I tuned in real quick, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Otto. He's sniffing the camera, and he's totally in the way. So my apologies. Pretty funny though. But all right,
that's funny. All
right, let's not waste any time. If we can keep this thing under an hour, that would be great, Joe. Okay?
Do my
That's
best.
directed towards you. All right. Let's find out and listen here to what Coach had to say after the win.
You know, this was a game we haven't had where we just couldn't make anything for a long time. I thought Jimmy kept us in there in the first half when nobody else could get anything going. But then, you know, they're a good defensive team. They get after you. And, you know, it's seldom Buddy and Jimmy both have bad shooting nights. They both did. Joe did. Cole was a superstar compared to them. And yet we were able to get a stop at the end. And the inbounds play, Buddy it was right in front of him. He got hit in the arm. The ball went out of bounds. I don't know who it went off, but he got hit. You got the ball. You got to protect the ball handler in that situation, and they didn't. But we came up with some unbelievable defensive plays. I thought Barama made the play of the game. He was stuck. We were all stuck. We couldn't do anything. He just took it right to the basket. That was a huge play. He made a couple of huge defensive plays for us. Frank came out 11 minutes in the first half and was totally 0, 0, 0, 0 across the board. You know, we have to have something from our center position. But when you shoot that poorly for us, to still be able to win the game, it's a lot of guts, a lot of determination, and really proud of them the way they've made those last couple stops. And those were tough plays to make, tough plays. We have two centers, they'll both play. Please. Please. Brown was fortunate he can go about 15 minutes. We're happy to get that from him. Don't play that game with me either.
Coach,
the starters are the guys who I start. Whoever that is. It might be John Bowl. That's who will be the starter.
Coach, how big of a role did the fans play?
They were good at the end. I think they were asleep for about 34 minutes. They're not used to it, I guess. Hopefully we can be like the rest of the country and come in here without masks Saturday, but I guess we just can't do that. The whole country, all the students here wear masks to class, then they go downtown and go down to the party. They have no masks. There's 400 people in a party.
How about that?
It's crazy. You're a student, right, Rashawn? Yeah. Marshall Street, they wear masks in those places? I think so. You don't think so, or you don't, or you know so?
I can't say I'm going to do anything, but I don't think they do.
They don't.
Coach, would you like to see fans come to the Dome without a mask on Saturday?
I'd like to see it. I hope so. I think it's about time.
All right, the coach montage is brought to us first by Athletic Greens. Tons of people take a multivitamin. I do, Joe does, and it's important to choose one that is top quality. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients helps you to support gut health, the nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's lifestyle friendly, adapting to a wide range of diets. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar and no GMOs, no chemicals or artificial anything. Plus, it costs less than $3 a day. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with the convenient daily nutrition of Athletic Greens, especially during the cold and flu season. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Okay, Colorcast. Yesterday would have been a perfect day, night, evening for Colorcast, but it did not happen because it just it came up on us much too quick, and and it was a little bit of family time. Okay, it was a little bit of family time. So, Colorcast is a live, audio-only sports talk platform, free to download news, talk to us, other fans, athletes, and insiders in real time. Perfect for watch parties like we did last night, debates, post-game breakdowns, and reacting to breaking news. And we will let you know when we are going on here. All of our live stuff will be done with the show, having to do with the show will be done on Spotify Green Room. All you need to do is download the Colorcast app free in the iOS or Android store, create a profile, link it to your Twitter, and join up in the league or group. Follow us at Cuse Militia to be notified when our room goes live. We'll be on there, like I said, during some of the live sporting events and things like that, and maybe be a good thing for even the tournament stuff. So thank you, Athletic Greens and Colorcast. All right, Joe, let's start at the top. I let Coach go a little bit longer than I normally do in his open there, and because it was full of information and the presser was only I think 6
Not
minutes.
even 7 minutes.
Yeah, just over 6 minutes, and I figured it was probably good to just include everything he said, so we'll hit it all right here. The beginning was brutal to watch. Obviously, some of that carried through the entire game, and when you look at this game and you think, well, Buddy didn't score until like late in the second half or mid-second half, I suppose. Am I right? Am I remembering that right? Was it still a struggle in the second half? I feel like it was for a little bit. But either way, when he's not scoring and they go into the locker room tied at the end of the first half and he hadn't scored a single point, that is a good sign any day, right? So bothered by the Boston College defense, very aggressive, very handsy, and we can get into a little bit of that, and just very I don't know the right word. They're just like hyper. It was like such a hyperactive game. And they sped Syracuse up in the beginning, which never bodes well for Syracuse.
No.
And that's why they were just really sloppy in the beginning. But, Joe, what you thought about the first half going in tied, and I considered that a win. I think we were down by 9 at one point? I think. So, yeah. And we never got ahead more than 6 the whole game, if I remember right. I think our largest lead was 6 points. And then they hit 2 threes on back-to-back possessions and tied it back up. And it was, time for us to take a timeout. But
yeah, and their largest lead was 9, our largest lead was 6, and I kind of was in the same boat as you as far as going into halftime. I was happy that I was actually surprised that it was that close. There was a couple times where I caught myself not really catching the score, but watching the game in disgust, and then I'd look up and I'd be like, "Oh, we're only down 2. Oh, we're
right.
only."
And it didn't feel that way.
It didn't at all. No, absolutely not. And like when we went in 33-33 with Buddy with 0 at halftime, I was going into halftime pretty confident.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it felt okay, right? It was like, we're not shooting great. Defense is playing pretty decent.
Yeah, this can't happen in another half, right?
Right, exactly. And, you got Rodney Howard, who comes into the game averaging 5 points, ends up putting up 19 before, thank God, he fouled out. Mm-hmm. Okay, which brings me to this here. Sidibe. My gosh, Ken Palm's got Cole Swider as the MVP of this game, but guys, I just based off my eyes alone and when you look and talk about the biggest plays of that game, the dribble drive from the 3-point line to the basket, and then the block from behind late in, I believe that was overtime. Yeah, it was. Huge plays by Brahma that we do not win that game without those. Both those plays were just huge. And just amazing. And also, he played with 4 fouls for how long? There was a couple times where I'm like, oh, he fouled out. And thank God the refs sucked, because you know what? They sucked for us, and they sucked for Wake Forest. They just sucked.
Or Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
You always get them mixed up.
I do. It's the colors. They sucked for us, and they sucked for Georgia Tech. Thank God.
They sucked all around.
They were terrible. And it was like watching. It reminded me of when I used to watch, my kids play when they were like 12 and 13. When they're just starting to play with big guys, they're just starting to get a little bigger and stronger, and they're just mowing each other down, and they're on the floor, and they're just slapping the crap out of each other. You know what I mean? And nothing's getting called. So that's what it reminded me of. But Joe, how big was Brahma?
He was huge. I think that there's a lot of times where this happens with teams where he might not have played the best complete game, which is probably why he wasn't named the MVP, but he had such big, timely plays that you don't win without those plays, without what he did. So I see where you're going with that. Obviously, he didn't play a complete game of the MVP, but you're absolutely right. Down the stretch after Frank fouled out, the plays that he made in regulation and overtime definitely won us that game.
Just so you know, if you're familiar with Ken Palm's analytics, his offensive rating was 176, the highest offensive rating of anybody in the entire game. Okay? And that's not what he bases his MVP on. Cole Swider put together another silently very good game for Cole Swider with 18 points, 11 rebounds, and an assist.
12, but
you see 12?
No, ESPN has 12.
Yes, I got 12. I'm sorry. It's bad math on my part. Yes. So, anyways, yeah, Brahma, just huge. And to come up this big in these two games, I don't want to beat a dead horse, guys, but we probably don't win these past two games without him playing the way he was playing in these games. And we're hanging our heads pretty low right now. If it's not for Brahma Sidibe, all of a sudden playing these minutes, 18 last game and 16 this game, and all solid. So,
yeah, and realistically, DeVoe missed some shots that he could have easily made near the end. That could have. I mean,
oh my gosh, that was so bad at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was terrible. The question I believe was from Mike Curtis. Any changes to the lineup? First of all, you're not going to get that answer. Second of all, I mean, you can see Brahma's struggling a little bit. And 16 minutes is probably right at the too much threshold for him right now. But he held strong. But I mean, you gotta get Frank in there, and he's just got to get better. And the more he plays, coach is a little hard on Frank. I understand kind of the beginning of the game and everything, but he did finish with 10 rebounds. I know he only had 2 points, but he had 2 blocks.
No, a lot of that was well. Second half too.
Yeah, that's true. And so. But, he fouled out. Obviously, some bad fouls. I saw a couple bad fouls from our guys all across all of them. All of them. They all had a couple of their own. So, no changes to the lineup. Don't look for that. Fans.
Yeah, no, but
go ahead.
But honestly, sorry, I had something with that because, his whole comment of, don't play that game with me, right?
Yes.
I thought that was funny because, it seems a little harsh.
It
right?
does, yes.
But if you do know Jim Boeheim, the one thing that he doesn't appreciate are, I don't want to say stupid questions, but I just don't think he appreciates the media kind of bringing up stuff that, doesn't
Gossipy
really
stuff. Gossipy stuff.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
Should Brahma be starting?
Yeah.
Should be this? Now his players are going to listen to the, they're going to listen to the media and all this other stuff. Like, he doesn't want all that, and then when he finished the comment, he basically was like, it doesn't matter who starts, realistically, the best way to ask that question is, not really realistically a change of the starting lineup as much as do you see Brahma getting more minutes for the way he played, right? Like, you don't bring that division, and that's, I think, where Jim, he just doesn't, he's never liked those questions when people start asking about who's supposed to start or should this person start or this or that. He's always reacted that way.
Yeah, and it's fair, I think. And he's been around 46 years. He doesn't have time to play around with it.
No, and there's been times, too. There's times where, like Deion Waiters, when he was the 6th man of the year, right? There's times where it doesn't matter if you start. You have bench players that come in and play more because they're playing better. It doesn't matter if you start.
Right. It doesn't. And we talked about that a lot last year with the whole Kadari Richmond thing.
Right.
That was a lot of the topic of last year. So, listen, we're going to hit it because they hit it. Fans, I didn't think the fans were terrible the whole game, but they were like a little, it was the time of day. It's a Monday.
I think the only time that they really were getting upset was when there was bad calls.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like they were in the game, but if there was a bad call.
Yeah, Frank got poked in the eye.
Yeah. I mean, to be realistic, their crappy officiating is probably what woke up the crowd to get them so upset and like get them loud. Like, that's what I saw.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't pay too much attention to the crowd unless it's really, really good or really, really bad. And it didn't strike me as really, really bad. But besides the fact, Coach wants the masks off the students, and it is far time to do so. Fans. You see in the fans. But he said specifically the students, because he mentioned them going down to Marshall Street and partying it up and not wearing masks and all this stuff. You got the cheerleaders freaking jumping around in masks. I mean, it's theater at this point, folks. I know some of you hate when I say things like that, but it's absolutely true. And the band with the holes cut for their flutes. It's stupid. It looks stupid. It is stupid. So hopefully Coach, I would think, has a little bit of pull on that. So, he's aiming for not even, he's aiming for the next home game, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's a Saturday night.
I mean, we talked about it, right?
We've talked about it 100 times.
I mean, we talked about this before the season even started. Remember? Even during football, I said, wait to see what happens with basketball. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah,
right?
Here we are with
I don't think ever at this point have we ever had an average of 18,000 people as far as like attendance per game. Usually doesn't happen. And obviously it's one of those things where there's a mask situation. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, I can't imagine being in a dome wearing a mask and being like cheering and screaming the way that I cheer and scream, right?
Well,
and realistically, like, I'm just getting in. I sit top level 300s, the last row. And I'm going to be up there with beers and no mask. And if an usher wants to come and try to say something, I mean, they're going to get their steps in. Okay? So at the end of the day, I watched yesterday purposely for this stuff, and when you see and you look in the background when the cameras are going to timeouts and this and that, plenty of people not wearing masks, plenty of people not even like underneath the chin, like you couldn't even see them, not even in sight. And it's funny too because Syracuse.com actually, and I don't know if this is ironic, but Mike Curtis felt the need to go and look to see how many other ACC teams still have the mask thing, to try to. And Syracuse is one of 10 schools from the 15-member league that requires fans to wear face coverings. So that was a story Mike Curtis did today on Syracuse.com. And I felt like that was kind of to go against everyone else is doing it. But meanwhile, 10 out of the 15 schools in the ACC still are. But I think the way that Jim's looking at it, and I think especially when it comes to attendance, it's not necessarily the face coverings as it is. Like I said before, it's the being able to have the walk-up crowd, the fact that you still have to either have proof of vaccination or get a negative test. That's always going to hinder that capacity. So,
well, Syracuse.com leans. I mean, I see all their stuff.
It doesn't, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we can sit here and assume one way or another, but again, it's one of those things where you can see it on the TV, even if it's a rule. They're not really. I mean, I'm sure there's some ushers that are hardcore in their sections. I saw some.
Don't all the students, aren't they required to be vaccinated and all that? Almost positive.
Yeah, I think this is something like only 2.3%.
Not
isn't
right.
So, yeah, and even James Zuba, he wrote an article on Noon's Magician. There was like 62 comments. I was rolling through there, and there was some back and forth. I mean, it was all respectful. And people were, posting articles and links and all this. And, I just think that it's just gotten to a point where
people are tired of it.
Well, it's not only that people are tired of it, but the science keeps changing to the point where we've learned about masks. We've learned about the effects that this does as far as, mentally and other things physically. And some people, I think it's to this point, people got to be able to weigh their options personally. It's all about personal responsibility. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask, but you don't get on somebody else for not doing it. I mean, at this point, if you've been following the science the whole time and you still feel this way at this point, especially with the CDC and everything and all these things that have came out, then at this point, I mean, you're just scared. And my freedom doesn't stop or start or your fear. Sorry.
Well, what the media and politicians and bureaucrats alike have all done is scare the hell out of people into thinking that a piece of cloth is going to save their life, and if they don't wear it, then they're going to catch COVID and die. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what we were told, pretty much, right? All you heard was death. Death toll, death toll, death toll. They talk about cases, and then you start talking about cases, Well, cases, we want to count the cases of cold and the cases of flu, too. You never heard any stories on that. And, I mean, I don't even know if the science on masks was changing. They already did all the studies on them, and then when COVID started, they threw all the studies out. And they said they ignored them and said, oh, well, no, they work now. So, anyways, and now we find out cloth masks do not work, which is what we suspected. You and I mean, we said it on here, but that's beyond the point, and we're getting into the weeds here. But the point is that it is time to have these places at this time of the year. How many super spurs have we had? You mentioned, how many places have we seen people not wearing masks? These places aren't like, this isn't happening there. Okay, it's not happening at sporting events the way that some people would make you think they are, and to have the poor kids in there fully vaccinated and wearing masks is stupid. It's stupid. So with that said, I think Coach agrees. It's time to stop. And hopefully we will. It would be a great day to do it would be during the Duke game. But you got to imagine all those tickets, too, are already sold. And those people who bought those tickets are probably planning on going. So they're probably already up to par on whatever they planned on doing to get to that game. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know if that would be a good gauge because it's going to be a big crowd regardless, right? Is that fair to say? A good gauge either way.
I mean, I still think that there's a gauge there. I just think that we've had games that in the past would be higher, and you know that this game, Coach K's last game at the Dome, would probably sell out 3 years ago.
Oh,
I mean, we broke the record, right? So we do have a little bit of a gauge because they could. I mean, it's probably going to be the biggest attendance of the year without a doubt. But the gauge is what is it comparable
what
to
do you
past
compare to?
Duke? Well, you compare it to past Duke games that when they came to the Dome.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It comes down to what you compare it to. Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. And then that tells you basically how much it is affecting it.
Right. Okay. All right. Moving on. That's all we got for the coach montage. It is time to hear from you.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, you guys know what to do at the end of every game. I will ask for your thoughts on the game via social media, and you will leave those thoughts, and we will talk about them here. But before we do, let's talk about Athletic Greens. And I'm looking at the green room, and something's not working right. Hold on. Did I do something wrong? Yes, I did. Okay, all right, here we go. Tons of people take a multivitamin. It's important to choose one that is top quality. With a delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients helps you support gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's lifestyle-friendly, adapting to a wide range of diets. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no chemicals, or artificial anything. Plus, it only costs less than $3 a day, I should say. It's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition, especially during cold and flu season. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/sportsdrink to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutrition insurance. Also, Colorcast is a live audio-only sports talk platform, free to download and use. Talk to us, other fans, athletes, and insiders in real time. It's great for watch parties, debates, post-game breakdowns, and reacting to breaking news. All you need to do is download the Colorcast app for free in iOS or Android stores. Create a profile, link to your Twitter, and join the league or group. Follow us at Cuse Militia and be notified when our room goes live. Like I said, we will always be in the Spotify green room during the show, doing live fan feedback and stuff, but the Colorcast stuff will be great for other things that we'll reserve it for, and we will always let you know when we will be there. Thank you, Athletic Greens. Thank you, Colorcast. All right, Joe, let's get to some of the fan feedback here. Let's start with first opening up the fan feedback portal. Come on. All right, should have had this. Okay, there was a lot of comments. Okay, there was a lot of one-liners. So I picked what I thought was relevant here. All right, Robert on Facebook. If Buddy plays just like normal, this is a blowout. Absolutely. Big kudos to the team for scrapping out that win, and that's exactly what they did. If Buddy's on point, this thing's not even close, in my opinion. And by the way, Joe struggled too. I mean,
dude, they went 8 of 35 combined.
Yeah, 8 of 35 for them both is pretty bad. That's you probably won't see that again.
No.
Right? I mean, the both of them, and we've talked.
Seen it before, and won't see it again.
Yeah, and we lose that game without Brahma. I already mentioned that, but we lose that game without a bunch of things. Without Cole hitting his stride the way he has recently, that game's an L. And thank God. And they did scrap it out, dude. That was a very physical, very tough game. I mean, look, here's the other thing I thought was astounding to me was that Georgia Tech had 38 defensive rebounds. 38. We had 43 total. So,
because we missed.
I know. It's just crazy. I mean, that's my point. It's how bad it was. It was terrible.
Yes, I mean, a win's a win, but that's exactly what we needed after only a 1-day rest going to Notre Dame, right? It was a scrappy overtime game.
Yeah, exactly what we needed.
4 of our starters played over 40 minutes, or 3, or something like that.
It was 4. So
awesome.
Everybody except for the center position. David on Facebook, not a big win as we would like, but I'll take it. Bad shooting overall. Anselm and Sidibe played well. Sidibe game-winning plays in overtime. We talked about it. Absolutely. He was amazing, and
he saw what I saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, to just turn it on the way he has, it's just amazing to me. Was it always there?
Yeah, it was always there. His knees weren't always there.
I'm just saying. That's what I'm talking about. We know how he can play, Joe. That's what I'm saying. We know how he can play, but all of a sudden, he went from playing 1 to 2 minutes barely every 4 games to playing 18 minutes one game and 16 minutes another game with one off day. And going into Notre Dame, which we don't know yet. But Nadal, top fan on Facebook. We are grinding out wins we would have lost earlier in the season. Absolutely. I think a bunch of these last ones, in fact, were wins that I think we would have lost. And I'm trying to pull it up. It's why I'm stalling here. I mean,
it's not too many. I mean, we blew out Boston College and Louisville. Lost to Virginia Tech by 12. Beat BC by 9.
State, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We killed Wake Forest, too. The one I really, 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 really want back bad is that Pittsburgh game, but we're not going to get it.
Oh, Georgetown.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we're going to go all the way back to there, there's a couple of them.
I mean, we go back to it. I mean, we didn't know how Georgetown was, and I know that I sat there and, I overreacted when we lost to Colgate, but I did say that, if we don't turn it around and, if we don't make the tournament, this is probably going to be the game. So when you look back at it and you look at a Colgate and Georgetown game, which we should have won based upon the talent. I mean, 15-12 and 17-10 is a world of difference at this time of the year.
Yeah, because you're having to grind out these late ones, which is going to be tough. You're playing the top teams in the ACC. Saving most, a good handful of them, saving them for last. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure right now the ACC is, the top 4 teams in the ACC are our last 4 games as far as how the
I didn't know about North Carolina, to be honest with you. It was the only one I didn't know about.
Yeah, Duke's first, Notre Dame's second, North Carolina's third. Miami's fourth.
Okay, well, there you go.
The Wake Forest, Virginia, and us.
Yep. Okay. All right. Coach G on the Facebook. Guess I wasn't the only one that saw no-touch fouls and inconsistency in the calls. My guess is makeup calls really do happen, LOL. Yeah, something was happening. I don't know if it was makeup calls, no calls, made-up calls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the hell? Like I said earlier, it was so bad for both teams that it just was a wash. It was just terrible officiating all the way around for everybody that it was just a wash. And by the way, Pastner got a warning. But he was way out on the court and they never showed it. But you saw fans pointing. And that was the only reason I knew he was on the court. And it was during play. And he got a warning, right? So, okay. It's one of those things. And he was out there. He was even after that, he was pushing his luck with that. After his warning.
Oh, yeah.
He's all over the place. Okay? What is he doing? Joe, what is he doing? He's
trying to win a game. He's trying to win a ball game, man.
How come I don't ever remember him acting that goofy with the signs and the dancing and whatnot? How come I don't remember much of that?
I can't answer these questions.
I'm asking you a question. Answer the damn question.
I don't know.
Do you remember it? Do you remember seeing him jump around like that?
I don't remember
all
that.
Goofy?
I can't tell you why he's doing it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all I was wondering. At Oil Cuse, man, what a great, entertaining game. Love seeing Sidibe make some plays. Absolutely, Captain Patrick. That's our buddy right there. At DFin01, where did they scrape up these bottom of the barrel refs? Better budget refs for the makeup game. Yes, let's budget. By what he means is yes, let's budget some more cash flow for. And I've seen these refs before. I don't remember them being this bad, but. They were having an off night. I don't know. Was it super cold in Syracuse yesterday? I don't know. Was it the weather?
I have no idea.
At Tyndall _ Dave did not cover the spread. Lousy shooting. Almost cost the game. Doesn't matter. Too much as Syracuse is hopefully NIT bound. See, I don't understand this. Why would you hope they're just NIT bound? I'm not even sure. Yeah, the shooting was terrible. The shooting was terrible, and they still won. So go figure.
I mean, maybe it's just a fan that doesn't think they have a chance at the tournament anymore.
Oh, well, I mean, anything can happen from here on out. What was that all about? Oh, hold on.
I don't know.
Anything can happen from here on out. I don't think anything's out of the realm of possibilities.
Hey, look, you're not done till you lose your conference tournament.
Matt in the green room says ACC refs are always bad. Yes, but Matt, I don't think they've been this bad ever. I just don't remember it being this bad almost every game. Terrible. We know they're historically bad, but this is just awful. At Debbie X3, please have the cat watch all the games in the future. It must be good luck. I mean, Otto the good luck cat. So that was pretty funny. I think you can probably. I think it's still up on Facebook too, by the way. So
yeah. Well, hey, maybe we're complaining about the refs more because of our record.
No, they suck
compared to past seasons. Yeah, but I feel like in past seasons, if you win more and you're in a better position, then you probably, it's easier to not pay attention to the refs when you win big or you win. I mean, I know we won, but
it is. But I mean, I know you're playing devil's advocate right now, Joe, but you can't tell me. You can't tell me it's not worse this year. We won the game. I'm still complaining about the refs. We've complained about a lot of officiating on games that we've won, which is a difference. Anthony in the green room says ACC can suck my oranges. Okay,
nice,
that's fair enough. Speaking of Anthony, at Cuse Waterboy on Twitter. This will wrap it up. At this point, we just need to stack W's over winning pretty, save the lights out shooting for Notre Dame and Duke. Also, changing a diaper during a TV timeout and getting free peek at boobs while your wife is breastfeeding. I did definitely not read this one all the way through. I got to stack of W's and save the lights out shooting for Notre Dame and Duke. And here we are talking about getting off on your wife breastfeeding and also changing diapers. It brings down the blood pressure, according to Cuse Waterboy. Dr. Cuse Waterboy. In case you didn't know or you were curious, you can always do that to relieve some stress. So, apparently. I wouldn't know. Okay. Look, so the truth is out. The cat's out of the bag. I don't read these all the way through sometimes. And, it's never quite come at me like that. But if there's one guy's tweets you're going to read, I mean, it's got to be that guy. So shame on me.
I agree.
Shame on me for that.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Let's switch gears here to Notre Dame, and Joe's going to give us so much good stuff on Notre Dame here. I'm getting so excited. I can't wait. The all-time series between Notre Dame and Syracuse sits at 31-22 in favor of Syracuse. Coach Boeheim holds a 19-9 lead over Mike Bray. Syracuse is currently on a 2-game win streak in the series. Last game was February 20th, just about 2 years ago, or a year ago. It was a win at home. Gerard, Boeheim, Dolzai, Guerrier, Griffin. Boeheim, 29 points. Guerrier, 14 rebounds. Excellent night for both those guys. The Fighting Irish most recently are coming off of a 79-74 loss on the road against Wake Forest. They are 19-8, 12-4 in the ACC. Losses in the ACC to the aforementioned Wake Forest, Demon Deacons, Duke, Virginia Tech, and Boston College, actually, all the way back on December 3rd. So they averaged 71 points a game, 46% from the floor, and 37% from three, which is pretty damn good. Ken Palm's got them ranked 58th in his analytics with an adjusted offensive ranking of 51st and an adjusted defensive ranking of 78th. He is predicting a 76-72 loss for Syracuse on the road. And Notre Dame is 57th in the net rankings, making this a quad gun, just barely, by the way, a quad one game on the road. So, Joe, it's a grind for these last four games, especially these next three, because we do have a small break after the North Carolina game before the Miami game, which is the last game of the season. So, what else, if anything, can you tell us about Notre Dame?
Well, you know that Notre Dame had a tough year last year when they were, looking for some guys to step up. They were kind of figuring out who's going to score for them and things like that. And this team is going to be full of names that you remember. Can't wait for the Prentice Hub, Joe Girard matchup.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch.
That's always fun to watch. So that's going to be coming to a theater near you tomorrow night. And
some bad blood there, let's be honest.
There is, yeah. And this team, I just look at their last game against Wake Forest. They ended up losing by 5. They only went 7 deep, but their 7 deep is pretty solid. So I already mentioned Prentice Hub, a junior. We've seen him before. Dane Goodwin, 6'6" guard, junior. Seen him before. Cormac Ryan, 6'5" junior. I mean, they're just littered with juniors. And Nate Lazewski and Trey Wirtz are both also juniors. Lazewski's, I think, 6'9", 6'10". Trey Wirtz, 6'5" guard. All 5 of those guys are juniors. They've been in the program, and they're solid players. But really where this team kind of turned from last year was they brought in a transfer, graduate senior, Paul Atkinson Jr. from Yale, who's a 6'9", 230-pound forward, and he was one of the better transfers in the transfer portal. So he leads the team in rebounds, and he's I think second, or third in points. And actually, their leading scorer is the true freshman that came in, Blake Wesley, 6'5", 6'6" guard, I believe. And he's just this game they lost to Wake Forest, went 6 of 11 from the three-point line, scored 24 points in the loss. And like I said, he's a freshman. He's a big recruit that came in, and that's really the big difference between this team. You're going to notice a bunch of guys, but when you add the 2 that I just mentioned, it actually makes them a formidable opponent, and that's why you've seen the jump this year. And what's scary is that after this year, they're only losing Atkinson Jr., and they're still going to have a good baseline because almost all of those juniors, if not all of those juniors, are going to be returning. So playing there after playing this game 2 days ago into overtime, it's going to be tough. It's a tall task. They play, but their analytics defensively are better than Georgia Tech, and they can score. So we got our hands full for sure, and we can definitely not show up shooting the ball like we did last night. No way.
Yeah, we cannot show up like that.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some foul trouble stuff. I think that we have, I don't want to say a strength advantage, but I feel like we do have a little bit of a height advantage. And, we're going to have to hit shots, and we're going to have to come out and play tough defense yet again.
Going to have to stay out of foul trouble, too, down low, because obviously you're going to need those guys big time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm not a huge fan of where this game ended up. I really, really wish that we might have been able to play them a little bit earlier, or at least maybe, not where you're like a game, day off,
not in a gauntlet.
Day off, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough because you only get one day, and that day's pretty much for traveling. So, and it was a rough game. Guys got hit. Guys got knocked to the ground, hit in the face. It's going to be a tough one for sure. It's an uphill battle with this game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Let's do this real quick, and then we'll give our predictions. Let's see. Tony,
they're second in the ACC for a reason too. So
yeah, absolutely. We got Tony in the green room. Tony, are you there? Speak now or forever hold yourself. Hello. Hey, can barely hear you though. Crank it up.
Sounds like he's on top of a mountain.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Go ahead. Oh, he's outside picking up dog poop. Once again, too much information. That's fine. All right. We'll bear with you here and go over the game against Georgia Tech. Joe, you had 72-62, and I had 78-62, and I win. Okay, so I pull back within a game. So you are 7-6-1. I'm 6-7-1. Okay, what are you shaking your head about? How are you shaking your head? How are you shaking your head right now?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't win. Hold on a second. No, yeah, I did win. Well, I did win. I did because I had the 78. That helped me out. So
I can't hear him.
I know I can't hear him either. Hold on. Tony, are you on Bluetooth?
Yeah, I'll take it off.
Yeah, he's going to take it off. Okay. So, yes, I won because I had the 78. You had 72, by the way. That's how it works. You just add the scores up. There's no other way to do this, okay? It's just for fun, Joe. Just calm down.
I just feel like you're stealing W's right now.
You're 7-6-1. I'm 6-7-1. I'm going to go ahead with my prediction here. Tony, you there? This is a Travis Shama mockery. No. I can't. Hold on. Let's try this. Hold on. All right. Try it now. Nope. The technology's not working with us today, unfortunately.
What if you stop it and try to start it again?
It doesn't work like that. So basically, I've got everything cranked. Go ahead. Try it out.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can barely hear you, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
What the hell?
Yell.
Yo!
There you go.
Oh, you need me to be louder? Someone
Yes.
wants me to be louder for once?
Yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That's scary. What's going on, boys?
Not a whole lot, buddy. How's everything? How's the baby?
Oh, she's phenomenal. She's only pooped 10 times in the past 15 hours.
Well, that's what happens.
So much fun.
It's only going to last, roughly 2 years.
Let's go. Oh, phenomenal. I love it. No, she's great, though. She's adorable. It's just, yeah, man, people will try to warn you about how much work it is and sleep deprivation, and they weren't kidding around.
Yeah, but it's first of all, it's all worth it at the end of the day. And when you become a dad, it's not exactly difficult. It's just a little stressful sometimes. But as far as doing it, you're a dad. It's what you do.
Yeah, and I'm trying to shoulder more of the burden as I'm home for a few weeks to help out. So.
Hey, your mic on your icon says you're muted. Does that have anything to do with it?
No, it doesn't say it here.
It doesn't? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have issues with this app.
You do. You were right. You do. He has issues with the app. I think that's probably
what it is.
What it is. Maybe you need to update your phone. You're the only one that complains about it.
It's probably because I got a Samsung because I'm poor.
There you go. Ding.
I'm not going with iPhone.
Come on.
No, I saw that South Park episode where they hooked you up to a centipede.
No. Centipede? Nope, we ain't doing that.
The Human Centipede. That's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a South Park episode.
Well, Tony, before you go, because it is hard to hear you, so you're gonna have to fix that, and we love you, so we brought you on anyway. You got you come on for this part of the show. You got to give us your predictions for Syracuse at Notre Dame.
Orange 69 because it's hilarious. Notre Dame 67.
69-67 is actually a decent score. I just don't know if they could pull it off. But hey, figure that out because you've been on here before and we could hear you fine.
Yeah, I know. I talked to you guys at the gym. Somehow you can't hear me at my house now. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I've cycled through everything on the mixer, and I don't believe it's that. So.
Yeah. Oh, real quick too. Let me throw in. I love Coach's comments, and it has started a firestorm here in the Syracuse, media community about the mask thing. Even though he's 100% right, so people don't want to let it go.
It did. Mike Curtis wrote an article, I guess Joe was saying, and the media is making it worse than it probably needs to be. But if you read some of the comments, I feel like they're rational thinking people, most of them.
There's this vocal minority that at 3 a.m. I'll probably hop on Twitter and troll the crap out of them. But I got nothing else to do with the baby sleep on my chest.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's far past time, and we've been through it. We're gonna have to live with this thing, and I think by now everybody's either been vaccinated or had it, and that's actually a good thing. I don't know why we frown upon that. It's actually a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, and people aren't using logic that right down the road is the War Memorial hockey arena with the crunch. No mask, no vaccination, no test required. I'm pretty sure, the crowd that goes to crunch games and SU games, they interlap once in a while.
No.
I mean, come on, Joe. Common sense.
That was complete sarcasm.
No, I got it.
Yeah, so like you're pointing out, we have before too. It's an SU rule. Yeah, and it is. And I wonder who's pulling the strings on it because it's not jiving.
Well, I'll give you a little insider tip because people like to hop in my DMs and tell me little bits of information.
All right, but okay, say this loud so everybody can hear you.
Somebody who works in the research department, like infectious disease, like scientists, like that whole area at Syracuse, have advised them to stop the mask. It's 100% an athletic department decision. They're not even consulted at all on this decision. The people who are in charge of health and know this stuff aren't being asked about it at all. 100% the athletic department.
Sounds like the government.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. We'll see Saturday if they change anything, and you don't see Coach wearing his anymore and pretending to be, with it around his neck and all that stuff. You never saw it on his face, but he'd have it around his neck, right? So you're not seeing it. He's gave it up.
And I'll tell you this too, for other people's safety, if I do end up going to the Duke game and I'm looking to get tickets, I will wear a mask underneath the kilt around my twig and giggleberry. For everyone else.
So are you gonna show it though? That's the question. Are you gonna flash the mask?
You're gonna get kicked out for wearing that mask, buddy.
I will 100%. If I'm saying it right now, and you guys want me to, I will do it, and I will put out a picture on Twitter about it.
If you could manage that, then
no, thank you. I don't care. I'm not on Twitter. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, Joe's not on Twitter. He makes me do it.
Yeah, Sean's going to send me your number. I'll send you a text. Just 3 a.m, you're going to wake up to be like, why? Just why?
Why am I looking up a kilt right now? All right, Tony, go fix your phone. We love you. Appreciate you.
Hey, love you boys too. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.
Later.
His new nickname is TMI.
That's a good one. TMI. That's it. You just nailed
TMI
it.
Tony.
TMI Tony. That's right. I don't know what's up with his phone, but he does have issues with the app. So, and like he said, he's cheap. So, it's a cheap phone.
You got to save the money for what's really worth it.
Yeah. All right. So it's my turn to pick. Let's do this and get this over with, and then we'll move on. And we're gonna try to get here Thursday, gang. I really, 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 really am. I really am. It's going to be difficult.
This is the deal, bro. If they
win
tomorrow, we got to do it.
Okay, that might be fair enough.
Okay.
I
think that's a promise that we can make right here between us and then anybody who listens.
Okay.
So that they can pretty much know.
Okay. I'll just have to force the issue. Let's put it that way. That's where I'm at. Okay.
Well, we can talk off air with that.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So, I'm worried about Notre Dame's shooting abilities. Our defense has gotten better, but we mentioned the Prentice Hub Joe Girard matchup, and it's been good in the past. It's been pretty evenly matched, but you know how Joe is, man. And if Hub begins to get the best of him, I just don't want to, I'm not trying to be negative, but if he starts to get the best of him, he might get the best of him the rest of the game. Who the hell knows? So I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the game in general. It's a tough matchup. Like we discussed earlier, and Joe confirmed, these are the best 4 teams atop the ACC that we're going to start off with this little 4-game run. So with that said, if I had to go 2 for 2, Joe, on these games, is that realistic? When you look at this, you go 2 for 2? Or 2 and 2? 2 for 4?
I mean, I believe so. I think that's what we got to look for.
That's what we got. That's what I'm saying. That's what we got to look for. Well, I think we have a really good shot at getting the last 2. And that's kind of where I stand with it. If we're going to put a number on it, I think North Carolina and Miami would be the 2 I feel like we have the best shot of beating. And if we got to get 2, I feel like it's going to be those. Okay? So, Look, I've willed wins into existence before by choosing the opposite team. So let's see if it happens this time. All right. I'm going to say 80-72 Notre Dame. And that's I feel like that's kind of optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, look, so when I look at Notre Dame's schedule, it was a little rough early on. They had some tough games, lost to St. Mary's, Texas A&M, Illinois, but then they lost at Boston College by 16. Then they beat Kentucky by then they beat Kentucky by 4. Then they lose to Indiana by 8, a team that we beat, right? But after that, it got into a point where, okay, some easy teams. Now they did beat North Carolina, but then you're looking at Georgia Tech, Clemson, lost to Virginia Tech just like us, beat Howard, beat Louisville, NC State. They beat Virginia by 4, Miami by 4, lost to Duke by 14. So after that, they played NC State again, Louisville again, Clemson again, Boston. I mean, they played Boston College, Clemson, Louisville, NC State, 4 of the worst teams twice in their ACC schedule. So, and then they just lost to Wake Forest. So when you look at it, I don't know if this team really is as good as the record says it is. They've had quite some easy games as of late. So if we can come out and we can shoot, I think Joe Girard and Prentice Hub is a huge matchup. I think right there, because Prentice Hub, if he gets him going and Joe Girard gets hot, I mean that's just what it is. I mean we got to come in, we got to be able to play, our A game against this team, especially on the road. But they've showed that they can falter a little bit, but they're not going to be a team that's really going to get blown out and blow. We're not going to blow them out at this point in the season. So it's going to be a grinder one way or another. But we need to come to play on both sides. And, I really think, do I want to do it?
You're going to take the homer pick.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take Notre Dame 75, Syracuse 72. And I think that it's going to come down. I think we'll get a chance to.
By the way, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this one's tough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they just came off an overtime game against Boston College and then Wake Forest, but they played Saturday and they got until Wednesday off. So they're just going to be the fresher team. And I think they got enough players that have played against this zone. So really, I mean, unless we can stop that Blake Wesley dude and we kind of hold Atkinson off the boards, then I mean, it could be a rough day. But we do have the talent and the size and some mismatches, I think, to give it a go. So I think it's going to be a close game. Okay.
I mean, I agree, and it's not Prentice Hub's shooting ability or anything like that I'm scared about. I'm just worried about him getting in Joe's back pocket and turning him over and frustrating him, and just Joe having just a bad shooting night offensively.
Right.
And I'm not too worried about Prentice Hub going off. But I mean, I could be sitting here with egg on my face at the end of this game.
This might be a game that Samir comes in and does something, right?
I mean, that's true. Yeah, it probably will see Samir at some point for.
The way you look at their lineup, the way that their lineup and their height is constructed. I mean, they could possibly get away with a smaller lineup.
Yeah. But, we'll see how Barama's doing after his, he's played a lot in a short amount of time. So we'll see how that is. He hit the deck a couple times and, that could take its toll on a big guy like that. But, so, all right, one more quickly. Let's get this in quick. I'm going to bring Dominic on, and I just want to test the equipment here. Dominic, you're on. What's up, man?
I have my Bluetooth on. Is it reverbing?
That's good.
No, it sounds fine.
Oh, I'm delivering mail, so I can only do this for a second.
Well, good, because we all know what happens when you get on here. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
You guys goat me into talking too much.
Oh, jeez.
Hey,
what's up?
So I'll be up your way, and I'll be enjoying Great Wolf Lodge. Actually, I will not be enjoying it, but my kids enjoy it, so I'll watch them have fun.
It's just a money pit for you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, thanks for coming on and proving that that TMI Tony's phone is garbage. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, he's a good guy. He's helping my kid gain some weight and work out because he's trying to get recruited. Yes.
There you go.
So yeah. So just listening to a lot of Syracuse talk radio today on the interweb.
I'm sorry.
I love the internet. Yeah, I know, right? So apparently, according to Stephen Fonte, the rims in Notre Dame are soft, and it is a shooter's gym. So very much believe. And then if you look at the line, we are only +3. So I don't bet. I don't really know what that means, but I believe that it's going to be if it's a shooter's gym. And Vegas knows something that we don't. It's trying to say to everybody, hey, look at this. I'm taking Notre Dame. Vegas knows something. I'm taking the Cuse. And I think we'll win by, let's say, 88-80 because of the foul shots down the stretch. So I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay. I like it.
But before today, if I didn't listen to that, I would have thought maybe that we lose by 10. But, I mean, we got shooters, so that's all we have left. So, all right.
Are you driving with your door open?
Yes, dude. I told you I'm delivering mail.
Why are you the slowest mailman on the planet? It's 8:30.
No, dude.
What people? You know what? People rely on you, Dom, to get their mail to them at a decent time.
Jeez.
No,
listen. I work for the freaking government. They could do anything right.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
After a holiday, damn it.
I mean, it's not Christmas, though, for crying out loud. Nobody else is delivering mail at 8:30 at night right now, except for you.
Yes, they are.
All over
Amazon,
the freaking country. Hey,
UPS,
let me tell you something. Joe, you live in the district that I work in, right? So I'm out in the east, and you're in the triangle, right? It's the same district manager. You got guys sometimes at like 10, 11 o'clock at night in Raleigh and Durham delivering mail.
Yep.
Like, it's even later than me. I'm working from 8 in the morning right now until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. They got dudes in Durham, I heard, working till like 11. So this is just crazy. The COVID, people just ordering stuff because they don't want to go out. It's just, I've never seen my kids less, really, honestly. So, but it is what it is.
Well,
so
I'm sorry.
For having me on. It's all right, man. And,
it sucks.
And it's going to be weird being near you tomorrow, man. The vibes in Virginia.
If I can get up that way, I will. I go where work takes me. So we will see. But you're about 45 minutes away. So maybe I get up that way.
If we play that team in Virginia Beach again this year, I'll shoot you a DM.
Definitely. Do that. All right, buddy. You take care, guys. Man. Thanks for coming on.
Take care.
All right, bud.
Have a good one, bud.
Bye.
See ya.
That is Dominic, the talker. With cutting, but that was like Cliff Notes version Dominic, which is we love Dom.
Yeah. He knows that.
Yes, he does. Okay, that is gonna do it for us, I think, folks. And it was fun. It was real. It just wasn't real fun, but the game was. And I said, hey, you know, it would kind of suck to have a thrilling loss, but a thrilling win I'll take, right? So that's what we got last night. We will see what happens against Notre Dame tomorrow. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.